Hi guys, I'm Sarah Butler and you're watching Cowgirls Live. So we have a lot of stuff to go over today. We're going to talk about the ducks, we're going to talk about fishing, we're going to talk about horse exercises. But before we get into that, I'm going to show you guys all of my sponsors. So I'm going to just screen share with you guys in just a second once I get them up here on their Facebook pages. So first sponsor I'm going to share with you guys is, we're going to go screen share, share screen, it's being slow. Okay. Hold on one second, my computer is like not letting me click. All right, we'll try it again here. Screen share. All right, well, it's not letting me screen share. So, tell you what, we're going to talk about some other stuff before I do the sponsors, and I'll show you guys that later. I just rebooted my computer, so it's just like kind of getting used to, like, I don't even know what you want to call it. It's just like still loading a lot of stuff because I restarted it. I rebooted it, so it's like rebooting everything. So I'll show you guys my sponsors a little bit later. So right now, we're going to talk about, I'm going to give you today's tip. So I have my ducks, as you all know, and this past week, we lost a duck. So my ducks, I have them in this water trough with no water in it, and they just have their bedding. So they have bedding, and they have a little bucket of water. It's like this big. It's not even a bucket. It's more like something you'd feed a horse out of, but it's only like this deep. So I had that filled up with water, and my 4 little duckies in their little area with that little bucket inside of it, and their little house, also known as their water trough, is like this big. It's I think it's a 175 or a 75 gallon tank. I think it's actually 75 gallon, but it's like this big, like as tall as my table, so 3 or 4 feet tall, and they're just in there. So it was Thursday, and I went in there to check on my ducks, see what they were doing, and there was a duck in the water that was not alive. So somehow or another, my duck drowned in the water that was this deep. I don't know. I thought ducks could swim, even though he's a duckling, so technically, like, they don't really swim, but he could touch the bottom, and I really just had that in there so they could stick their beaks in there and just drink the water. But I guess he had the wrong idea and decided to just jump in, and for whatever reason, I think he just kind of freaked out, or the other ducks could have just gone in there too and made it so he couldn't get out or whatever, but he could touch the bottom. So I don't know exactly what happened. I wasn't there to witness it, but I walked in and my duck was just floating, and I was like, that wasn't supposed to happen. So my tip for you guys for this week is don't leave your ducklings with much water at all. So now I went ahead and took all the water out except for like this much. Now it's only this deep. So I'm hoping they don't figure out some way to drown with this much water, because they were able to drown with this much water. So I'm like, I lowered it to this much. We'll see what happens now. Make sure you guys ask me questions throughout the show. Trayvon Hussein III says, nice hat. Thank you. Let's see here. I Am the Ant says, hi, Sarah. I finally made the live show this time, even though I'm walking back. Well, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully I don't disappoint you, and hopefully you enjoy the show. Trayvon says, if these things happen, don't beat yourself up. Oh, I'm not really beating myself up. I just feel bad that, the duck lost its life for no good reason, really, other than drowning. I mean, that's still not really a good reason, but Dare Stifle says, oh, what, the duck? Poor ducky, that's sad. I Am the Ant says, ducklings. So yeah, it's really sad, but it's amazing the things that animals can get themselves into. You'd be surprised, My dog, there she is on my bed right now, she likes to chase horses around, and so one time she bit a horse's tail while the horse was running, and the horse's tail flicked her underneath of the horse. She got ran over. So, like, my dog was literally chasing the horse from behind and somehow got under the horse, and she got a big cut on her paw. This was, like, over the summer, so she's all better now. But it's amazing the things animals do. It's like they're trying to kill themselves half the time, and sometimes they do succeed. Jerry Smith says, did we get acquainted a while back because I don't remember you? LOL. I don't know. Did we get acquainted a while back? I'm kind of new to this channel. Well, not super new. I mean, I've been on here since, I think, November, maybe October. Maybe it's been longer than that. I don't know, guys. I lose track of time. But I'm on this channel, and I talk about literally everything that has to do with being a cowgirl. A Maryland cowgirl, as far as it goes as being a cowgirl. I mean, I ride my horses, I go fishing, clean stalls, do all that good stuff. I drive a truck or a Jeep sometimes, depends on the day. But, I mean, on the show, we really just talk about pretty much what I do. And I do have guests occasionally that come on here and talk about what they do. And we all have good talks and talk about stuff. Yeah, my brother Ben was actually going to be on the show today, but he couldn't find his fishing spinner that he wanted to show y'all, so he wasn't able to be here. But this past week, we did some fishing. Ben went fishing, I think, 3 days in a row, trout fishing. I went one day, and I caught 2 little trout with the spinner bait. But you can also use power bait. I just wanted to show you all this. So this stuff is good, some good stuff. If you guys ever want to go trout fishing, excuse me, all you got to do is just open this stuff up, put a little bit on your finger. I'm not going to do it because it smells awful. And you put it on your hook, and you just set it in the water, and you wait and wait and wait until you finally get a bite, and then you reel it in as soon as you get a little bite. Feel a little nibble on your line, or you see your bobber go down if you have a bobber. And you reel it in, and maybe you'll catch a trout. But you got to make sure that you have your fishing license if you're going to a public spot, and that you're patient and know what you're doing. And make sure there's actually trout there, because there's not trout everywhere. Sometimes there's just bass. Sometimes there's bluegill. You got to know what you're fishing for and if they have it in the right area. Jerry Smith says, oh, well, have fun, cowgirl, LOL. Dare Stifle says, Sarah, what do you think of Lucci's cowboy boots? I bought myself a pair back in September, and I love them. They can be pretty slippery walking in them, though. So I'm going to take a wild guess and say the bottom is leather or wood. So they have different bottoms on cowboy boots. Some of them have leather on the bottom, some of them have wood, some of them are rubber. There's probably other things people make cowboy boots out of, but I'm just guessing you either have leather or wood. And I honestly don't know. I've never had Lucci's. I'm probably saying that wrong. Lucci's brand boots. So I don't know, but maybe I'll go in and look them up. Let's see. Oh, actually, Craig just tagged me, or didn't tag me. He gave us a link. So let me click on the link here, and we'll look at these boots. All right, so let me see if my screen share will work. Hello, computer. We want to share the screen. Share my screen. All right, well, it's not wanting to share my screen, but I'm trying. Come on, share screen. Now it's just being a pain. Oh, that's fine.
You want me to show the photos? I can show them if you want.
Yeah, sure. So Craig said he'll show the photos if y'all want to see them.
We'll see if my screen share works, and then you should be able to see them too.
Okay, sounds good. So we're going to see if Craig's screen share is going to work, and he will show you guys the boots. Okay, can y'all see that? Y'all see these boots here?
Yep, they're up.
So they look pretty cool. Yeah, they look like a nice pair of boots. I mean, I've just personally never had any experience with them, but they do look very nice. Nice looking boots. I gotta say, I prefer square toe. Those are pointy toes. But, you know, it depends on what you want to do. If you want to be more dressy or if you like that style, then go for it. Yeah, they do have like a wooden looking bottom on them. So maybe they are a little bit slippery, but they're good for dancing. That kind of boot is good for like line dancing if y'all ever want to go line dancing or square dancing, dancing in general, any kind of dancing really, as long as you're on a wooden floor, because I'll give you a little bit of slide to your feet.
Yeah, they're actually leather. They are leather soles.
They're leather soles?
Yeah.
Okay, they're leather soles, he's saying.
But they have to get scraped up a little bit. Otherwise, they would be real slippery.
Okay. Yeah, so they do
I'll,
get slippery.
I'll stop sharing now.
Thank you. Thank you, Craig, for sharing.